Hey, what's up everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to Karpo Gaming and Another Path of Exile 2 video. Well, we're back at it again and I finally have the build guide for my monk. This one is going to take you all the way through cool difficulty. And the best part about this is just getting started. This is my Monk Invoker Elemental Build. You know what to do. Let's go! Once again, thanks for watching everybody. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. Let's just do this. We're at 1 cruel difficulty and we're at the count, the boss at the end of Act 1. Now I wanted to start this video off to show you some of the damage that we're getting from this build. Like I said, this build is just getting started because this is actually a cast on build that I'm working towards. So this is just the initial damage that we're getting from the build and it's phenomenal. So yeah, this is going to work out just fine and will get you through cruel difficulty and get you all the way to the end game, which this build will morph into a cast on build on top of all of the damage that you're seeing. So let's do this, like I said, showing you the damage first of this first boss and then show you the Act 3 final boss from the normal mode. Because this guy is definitely a tank, right? But I had no issues with him, and this was before the update, as you can see right here. So the build can be a little tanky, has very good survivability, and the damage is phenomenal, especially since it's just getting started. So as far as the abilities that we're using that you're seeing, we're only using a few moves to pull off everything that you're seeing. We are using our Tempest Flurry, our Cold Strike, and then we're popping down the bell. Now the other abilities are just for extra added damage. We're actually getting fire attacks from our main attacks, and also we're getting a little bit of fire damage from our other abilities, but we're really not dependent on that. We are all about ice, electricity, and of course fire as well. So this is an elemental build that's going to be using all three of these to our advantage, and we have it proc pretty much all the time, as you can see on these bosses. So on to cruel difficulty with the build, it is simple and it is very easy to use. Now we didn't even mention Storm Wave, which is going to be our main ability for hitting enemies long range, including bosses as well. The way we have this set up, we will be able to freeze enemies, light them on fire, and electrocute them all at the same time. Like I said before, this is working toward a cast on build. You can either go cast on ice, cast on electricity, or cast on fire. That's going to be totally up to you. I might roll with cast on ice just because I'm able to freeze pretty much anybody, including bosses, very easily, as you can see right here, from all of my abilities with ice. So Ice Strike, including our lovely electrical wave. Both of them can freeze enemies pretty fast, including bosses as well, as you saw previously. So the survivability is very high. You have nice long range attacks that can not only freeze enemies, set them on fire, and also explode them as well. So let's head over into our passive tree and show you exactly how these things are coming together. Now we're going to start off with our amazing ascendancy, and these are the first ones that I took just for critical, but the main one that you really want to take is Lead Me Through Grace. Now this one right here is going to help you get your 60 spirit that you need to have both of your heralds. And like I said, this is working towards 60 more that we're going to need for our in-game build for our cast on either ice, electricity, or fire. But starting off, these are some of the notes that I took just to get my power up, to get my evasion up, and to make myself just a little bit more tankier. This build is focused on all three: evasion, energy shields, and as well as a nice chunk of life. So through all of this, we're going to have around 1,000 on the health. We're going to have some pretty good evasion, still working towards that. We're trying to get to at least 50 on both our evasion and on our armor. Some of the notes that I took earlier was to boost up the damage. These are some of the notes. some of the earlier notes that I took to boost up my evasion to help get me through the normal modes and to get me into cruel difficulty. And some of these I haven't even finished taking to boost up the damage because I wanted to reach other nodes like these right here, which are super essential in a power boost. 30% to fire, electrical damage, as well as ice. It is awesome. Getting all three of these nodes will help boost up your damage tremendously. And like I said, we're going to be proccing all of those on all of our abilities. So yeah, we're going to be getting a lot of boost when it comes to elementals on our weapons. So let's do this. Mana regeneration is going to be taken care of right here, and I still haven't finished getting all of those nodes. It's still a little mana deprived, but we can easily clean that up with some other nodes. But initially, you want to start off and focus on as many as attack nodes as possible, including Killer Instinct. That's what I did. And then we're going to come back and swing around to picking up more evasion later on, because we're still pretty tanky right now, and it's only going to get even better once we hit end game. Alright, so more and more damage. That's what we're doing. Style Bender is going to be able to break armor, and we're going to be proccing elements on it, and we get 30 to strength as well. So GG's right there. And then from here, we're going to move straight all the way out until we get to our first jewel socket. We can come back and swing around here to pick up our trigger abilities later when we need them and when we have everything set up. But once we are here at our node, we're going to swing all the way down until we get to one of the best passive trees for any monk, and that is going to be the quarterstaff. And this is where we're going to get a lot of speed, and on top of that, one amazing buff all the way at the top. So let's move up. We're going to get ourselves a lot of attack speed, as you can see right here, and then we can also get knockback as well as stun, build up as well as frost, build up as well as daze, build up as well. And then all the way out the top, we have one with the river. Now, this is awesome. You're going to get a whopping 30% extra defense while wielding a staff. We're always going to be wielding a staff. And then increase buildup of frost, which we're going to be using a lot, daze and stun. So like I said, it's going to be really easy to freeze enemies with this. And then from here, we're going to move down, which I have my one jewel socket here. And then over here, we're going to get even more damage with our herald abilities, which are always procced, right? So we have a lot going on, and a lot that we still haven't even got to. We want to pick up our evasion. All are going to be right here. So like I said, the evasion is still not even intact, and it's still really good. And then we set ourselves up for in-game for trigger explosion. So once we get our build situated with 60 more spirit that we're going to get from our chest, well, then we'll be able to get ourselves an amazing in-game build. Let's do this for our lovely skills. Starting off with the quarterstaff, not really using it at all, so you can put whatever you want inside of the quarterstaff, doesn't really matter. Just showing you what I took. But I did roll with Shockwave Totem. This can be totally swapped out for something else, but I like it. It's a lot of fun, a little extra physical damage on the back end side. It helps when you're dealing with mobs. And that is going to be from that mace section of your skills. So go ahead. These are some of the different sockets that I took. But this is totally optional, something I just threw in there, and it's a lot of fun. You gotta have fun when you're playing, right? And it deals a little bit of damage as well. Now when it comes to proccing different fire abilities, we do have some damage coming from our weapon and from our gear, but you also can try to help proc it with Firestorm or with a solar orb, just something that I'm playing with. Both of these will be swapped out once I go with our in-game build. Right, so it's a lot of fun still, but make sure you have fire coming from some source so you can proc that extra 30% of critical elemental damage. So our two main heralds that we're using are Herald of Thunder, so we can get a nice little boon, and we're using main, we're using blind, and last but not least for our supports, we're using momentum. And then we have Herald of Ice, right? Herald of Ice is going to be awesome as well because we're going to be constantly freezing enemies, so we'll be able to blow them up as well and get a nice little chunk. these are some of the other supportive gems that I use on this. You can swap them out and use whatever you want. This is what I use. Working out pretty good for me with this build. And like I said, it's just getting started. Alright, moving on to the Tempest build. This is going to be super huge and going to be one of our main abilities that we're using to help boost up our attacks, right? And these are some of the lovely support gems that I use inside of here. So everything synergizes with ice, with the electricity, and it's dealing a pretty good amount of damage, and it's only going to get better. And the mana is decent. It could definitely be a whole lot better, but we'll spec into that a little bit later. Solar, like I said, the solar orb is totally up to you if you want to use it or not. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I have in that. And then the Storm Wave. This is going to be an amazing ability that is only going to get better as long as we unlock more of our nodes, which we'll get there, you know. But these are just some of the few that we have. It's going to get better when we put even more mods in here. So yeah, it's really good, my dude. But starting off, even if you just only have one artificial orb, which is not hard to get, you can use these, and yeah, you'll be on your way. And this is a good starting build to get you to end game without even having the extra artificial orbs to unlock even more gems to put in your ability. Last but not least, we have one of our main abilities for electricity. That's going to be Tempest Flurry. And we're going to have on this bad boy some amazing support gems as well to help bring it all together. So no matter what boss we run into, as long as they don't have any elemental resistances to electricity and ice, we're good to go. But even if they do, we'll still be able to proc a little bit of fire on them. So it's pretty much foolproof. I haven't had any issues with any boss so far, and I'm all the way into cruel difficulty, making my way to end game. So that's it, my dude. That is the build. Tempest build. You're going to hit him with your storm. You're going to hit him with your ice. And you're good to go. Now, about that 30 and 30 spirit that you need for your heralds, for Herald of Ice and for your Herald of Thunder. You're going to need these, and like I said, these are always going to be active because of our nodes that we pick, and you get some permanent upgrades too. So long as you have 60, you get to go. Now for the end game, we need 60 more. We're going to be getting that from our chess piece once we get our intellect up, which is pretty easy to do. And with this, we're going to be set up for end game. So once I get that build ready, I'll get it to you ASAP. Now let's move on to our weapons. I was using bow, but I just stopped using it because I can use everything from our staff, including long range, which is pretty sweet. Here are some of the different abilities that all synergize because of this gear, right? So for our quarterstaff, make sure you focus on plus melee, and for a lot of our abilities, you want to focus on, of course, trying to get our elements as high as possible because it's going to keep degrading the higher we go up in difficulty. And then try to get as much plus attributes as possible so you can make sure you're able to get higher skill gems unlocked the higher you go. So this is just starting off with the build as far as gear is concerned, but you see exactly what we are working towards. This is an early elemental build working towards an end game build, which will be a cast 1 build. Health is around 1,000, energy seal is sitting at 700. Pretty good mana at 560, 80 on the spirit, 37 on armor, could definitely be a whole lot better. Around 40-ish on the resistances, definitely need to be capped at 75, but we're working towards there, my dude. This is a great build. And if you have any issues, let me know down below. But for right now, that's pretty much going to for this one. I hope you truly enjoyed it. As always, if you are new to the channel, how you doing and welcome. Don't forget to subscribe right here at Karpo Gaming, upload a wide variety of videos, range from updates, tips and tricks, guides and news, and a whole lot more. So once again, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll be seeing y'all in the next one. Later.